Can you start? Okay.
It's in progress. I'll let you know.
Can
Start பண்ணலாம். Sneha, you can start.
Hi everyone. Good morning. Atlanta Tamil Sangam நடத்தும் இந்த யூத் கமிட்டியோட பூட் கேம்ப் நிகழ்ச்சியில பங்கு பெற வந்திருக்கோம். அனைவருக்கும் அனைவரையும் வரவேற்பது ரொம்ப மகிழ்ச்சி ஆகிரும். இந்த இயர் புதுசா ஒரு நியூ முயற்சி எடுத்திருக்கோம். கிட்ஸ் எல்லாத்துக்கும் வந்துட்டு கிட்ஸுக்காக நடத்தும் இந்த பூட் கேம்ப் நிகழ்ச்சியை இதை லான்ச் பண்றதுல ரொம்ப ஹாப்பியா ஃபீல் பண்றோம். அண்ட் இதன் மூலமா வந்துட்டு கிட்ஸ் எந்த அளவுக்கு அவங்க மற்றவங்களுக்கு டீச் பண்ண போறாங்க, லெசன்ஸ் அண்ட் எல்லாத்தையும் லேர்ன் பண்ண போறாங்க, அதே மாதிரி டீச் பண்ண போறாங்க, அவங்களோட முயற்சி எந்த அளவுக்கு இருக்க போகுது, அவங்க எந்த அளவுக்கு நாலேஜ் வளர்த்துக்க போறாங்க அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு சுயன முயற்சி தான். பட் டுடே இன்னைக்கு பிரெஞ்ச் கிளாஸ் நடக்க போகுது. மிஸ்ஸஸ் கிருத்திகா அவங்க வந்திருக்காங்க எக்ஸிக்யூட்டிவ் கமிட்டி மெம்பர்ல இருந்து. ஸோ அவங்க பேச போறாங்க.
Thanks, Pungadi. Bonjour, everyone. I'm Kritika Bharati, and I'm part of the GATS EC committee this year. It's so great to see so many of you join on a Sunday morning to learn French. Just like all of you, I'm also super excited to learn about this language. So before we begin, I would like to take this opportunity to thank GATS and the Youth Committee for providing us a platform to learn new skills in the form of boot camps. So I highly encourage you all to join these boot camps to expand your skills. So in this COVID situation, it's a great thing to learn these kind of things. So please make sure you make use of this opportunity. So before we dive into this session, I just Googled up a few facts last night that I would like to share with you all. French is the 10th most spoken language in the world. French is the official language in 32 countries. March 20th is the French Language Day. Around 30% of English words are of French origin. Furthermore, France is the most visited country in the world with around 75 million tourists per year. So that gives us a good reason to learn French, right? So with this, I bid you all happy learning. Merci.
Can I start?
Yes.
Okay. I was just making sure. So thank you so much GATS Youth Committee for giving me this opportunity, and I'll make best use of this. So, bonjour, bienvenue au bootcamp du français. Je m'appelle Sneha. Je vous apprends les bases du français. This means hello. Welcome to the bootcamp for French. My name is Sneha, and I will teach you the basics of French. So, let's start. So let's start with the alphabet. As you can see, alphabet in English and French is similar. More or less, it's like the same. But the pronunciation is what makes it different from the English alphabet. So I request everyone to repeat after me. You can mute your mics, but you can also repeat after me. So just make sure that your pronunciation is correct. So A is A. Okay, so I request everyone to mute their mics, but they can repeat after themselves, okay? A is A. B is B. C is Se. D is De. E is E. F is F. G is J. H is Ash. I is E. J is G. K is K. L is L. M is M. N is N. O is O. P is P. Q is Q. R is air. S is S. T is te. U is u. V is ve. W is w. X, okay, X is X. Y is Y. And Z is Z. So I can see the alphabet is kind of similar to French. I mean, to Ingwan in English. So now what the most important thing in French is the pronunciation. So B and P are one of the most important things. Unlike English, when you pronounce the letters in B and P in French, almost like no air comes out of your mouth. Like bell, there's no air coming out of my mouth. Papa, there's no air coming out of my mouth. So that, but in English, it goes like book, pay. That's how it goes. Now, H, E, and final consonants. H and E are silent in French, like H and like le, ero, or l'héroïne, or l'hôpital. E is la table. So the E here is silent. Le livre, this E is silent. Final consonants, which are the consonants at the end of the word, they're also silent. For example, la maison, which is house. So as you can see, as you can see, maison has N at the end of the word. So it goes la maison or bleu. It doesn't go bleu because U in French is ou, but we don't pronounce it as bleu. We just say bleu. Now, imagine a situation. You're a tourist who has landed in the city of light, Paris, which is the capital of France. Throughout the trip, you interact with many people, either for a taxi or hotel booking, for directions, or just for a simple conversation to learn more about France. Now, though people know English, it is always convenient to talk to them in their native language. So tourists can have a splendid trip with just basics of French. So we will learn some basic French expressions that will help us have a daily conversation. Now, let's start. Salut. So I have the how to pronounce the things or how to pronounce the expressions over here in a different color. So as I read them, you can also refer to the ones over here to make it easier for you to learn. So salut, which means hi, but it's informal. So in French, people speak in formal and informal way. Now we use formal when you're addressing someone who's elder or when you're meeting a stranger for the first time. That's when we use formal language. But we use informal when you're meeting with just friends or someone of our age. So over here, salut, which is hi, is informal. So when you meet your friend, you would say salut. Now, bonjour is hello, but formal. Even though bonjour is formal, people often use it in an informal way also. So it doesn't really make a difference, but it's usually used in a formal way. Bonsoir is good evening or hello after 7 p.m. Bonne nuit means good night. Au revoir. So au revoir is goodbye. À demain. À demain is see you tomorrow. À bientôt. À bientôt. See you soon. Enchanté. Or Shante. Nice to meet you. Courtesy. So courtesy in the sense, please, sorry, thank you, welcome, all that comes under courtesy. So s'il vous plaît means please, but formal. S'il te plaît is please, but in informal. Désolé means sorry. So désolé. Merci means thank you. De rien is welcome, So this welcome isn't like thank you and welcome. It's like a token of gratitude. Whereas bienvenue is welcome, but welcoming someone to a place. So when I say bienvenue or bootcamp du français, that meant welcome to the French bootcamp. So I'm welcoming you to a place or the class. So that's when we use bienvenue. Now, titles. Titles like Sir, Mrs., Miss, and all that. So, Monsieur is Sir, but singular. Monsieur is gentleman, plural. Madame is Mrs. or Ma'am or a married woman. That would be singular. Mesdames is ladies or a group of married women, which is plural. Mademoiselle is Miss, young lady, or an unmarried woman. Mademoiselle is young ladies or group of unmarried women. So right now, does anyone have any questions till now? Oh, okay. So if you have any questions, you can just put it in the chat or you can just unmute your mics and speak.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
So what is a little arrow above the I instead of a dot? Like what sound does that make? Like it was,
Where?
I think it was in the slide before.
Oh,
Yeah.
this one? Okay, so these are accent. They give you a different sound of the letter. So if you actually see I in the French alphabet, that would be E. But because of this that's there, we say chapeau. That's there. It goes like A. So I can say s'il vous plaît. It doesn't go play because I is E. It doesn't sound like play. It says play. So that's why we have those things. They're called accent, which give a sound to the letter. Is that clear?
Yeah, that's clear.
Okay. Does anyone have any other questions? Okay, then I'll go ahead. So now in a conversation, it's always necessary to ask how you are. So let's start. Comment allez-vous? Comment allez-vous? Now, the reason why I didn't try the pronunciation for these phrases is because I want you to notice that the final consonant or the consonant at the end of the word is silent. When you notice that, the pronunciation gets a lot easier. So, comment, I'm not spelling the T. So, comment allez-vous, which is how are you, formal. So when you meet an elder person or when you meet a taxi driver, you would say, comment allez-vous? Now, comment vas-tu is how are you, informal. Comment ça va or ça va is how are you, informal. So this would say when you're meeting your friend after a long time, or maybe when you meet your friend after the pandemic is resolved, you would say ça va or comment ça va. The person would reply ça va bien or ça va très bien. Now, ça va bien means I'm fine or I'm good. Ça va très bien means I'm very good. Je vais bien means I'm fine. So when someone asks you comment allez-vous, you would say je vais bien. Or comment vas-tu? You would also say je vais bien. That would mean I'm fine. Je ne vais pas bien, which means I'm not fine. Et toi? And you? Informal. So when someone asks you, how are you? You would say, I'm fine, thank you. Well, what about you? So that would mean et toi or et vous, which is also and you, but formal. Asking for a name. So, comment vous appelez-vous? Comment vous appelez-vous? Now you might think that I told you that the final consonants in the French alphabet are always silent. So, okay, so consonants in French alphabet, all the letters are consonants except R. R is a vowel in French alphabet. Just remember that. So now the reason why I stretched this word like vous appelez instead of saying vous appelez is because they give a continuation in the sentence. So imagine if I said comment vous appelez-vous? That doesn't sound so good. But when you say comment vous appelez-vous, It sounds perfect. It sounds right. So that's why people usually say, comment vous appelez-vous? Which means, what is your name? Formal. Comment tu t'appelles? What is your name? Informal. Now, je m'appelle Sri Sneha. So that would mean my name is Sri Sneha. So when I said in the start that je m'appelle Sri Sneha, that means my name is Sri Sneha. Now, this is a simple conversation. It's a formal conversation and between two people, Monsieur Bernard and Monsieur Lambert, who are meeting for the first time. So Monsieur Bernard says, Bonjour, comment allez-vous? Monsieur Lambert says, Bonjour, je vais bien, merci. Et vous? Monsieur Bernard replies, Je vais bien, merci. Comment vous appelez-vous? Monsieur Lambert says, Je m'appelle Jean-Paul Lambert. Et vous? Monsieur Bernard says, Moi, je m'appelle Marc Bernard. Enchanté. And Monsieur Lambert replies, Enchanté. Now, I'll break each sentence with pronunciation and explain them to you. So this would be Monsieur Bernard. So Mr. Bernard, when he meets Monsieur Lambert or Mr. Lambert for the first time, he says, Hello, bonjour, comment allez-vous? How are you? Monsieur Lambert says, Bonjour, hello, je vais bien, I'm fine, thank you. And what about you? Et vous? Monsieur Bernard says, Je vais bien, I'm fine, thank you. Comment vous appelez-vous? What is your name? Monsieur Lambert says, Je m'appelle Jean-Paul Lambert. Et vous? My name is Jean-Paul Lambert. What about you? Monsieur Bernard says, Moi, or me. Je m'appelle Marc Bernard. Enchanté. So, me, my name is Marc Bernard. Nice to meet you. So, Monsieur Lambert says, Nice to meet you. Now, each sentence, so this is how a regular conversation would go on when you just meet for the person. But when you meet it, if you meet a stranger or someone like a taxi driver or a shop owner, you wouldn't talk so much about this, right? You wouldn't go around saying, oh, how are you? My name is this, my name is that. You would just ask for maybe directions and all that. So we'll learn about that later. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Now, simple conversation, which is informal. Now, these people are like friends, Mary and Jean, and they're meeting after maybe some time. So Mary says, Salut Jean, ça va? Or, Hi Jean, how are you? Jean says, Ça va bien, merci. Et toi? Ça va? I'm fine, thank you. And you? How are you? Mary says, Ça va bien, merci. I'm fine, thank you. So Mary says, Au revoir, Jean. Jean says, Au revoir, à demain. Bye-bye, see you tomorrow. So this is how a sample conversation goes, and I'm going to repeat all the phrases again. So, okay. So first is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Anyone have any questions? Okay. No. Okay, so the pronunciation, I hope it's clear, but if someone has any questions, they can still say. Okay. So greetings now. I hope everyone is repeating after me. Or if you want, you can unmute your mics and also repeat. Yeah, just so that I can correct your pronunciation if you're going wrong anywhere. Okay. So salut,
Salut.
which means hi. Okay. So bonjour.
Bonjour.
So it goes bonjour. So bonjour.
Bonjour.
Hello. Formal. Bonsoir.
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 Bonsoir. Good evening or hello after 7 p.m. So 7 p.m. is like evening in France. So that's why it's hello after 7 p.m. So till 7 p.m. you would go around saying bonjour or salut. Bonne nuit,
Bonne nuit.
which means good night. Au revoir.
Au
Au
revoir.
revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Good night. Goodbye. À demain.
À demain.
Demain.
À demain.
À demain.
See you tomorrow. À bientôt.
À bientôt.
Bientôt.
See you soon. Enchanté.
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 Nice to meet you. Now, courtesy, which is s'il vous plaît.
S'il vous plaît.
Please, which is formal. So, s'il te plaît.
S'il te
Te plaît.
Please are informal. Now, désolé.
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 Sorry. Merci.
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 Thank you. De rien.
De
De rien.
Welcome. Bienvenue.
Bienvenue.
Welcome. Now, titles. Monsieur.
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 Madame.
Madame.
Mesdames.
Mesdames.
Mademoiselle.
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 Mesdemoiselles.
Mademoiselle.
How are you? So, comment
Comment
allez.
allez-vous?
allez-vous?
Comment allez-vous?
Comment allez-vous?
Comment
Comment
vas-tu?
vas-tu?
Comment
Comment
ça va?
Ça va.
va?
Or ça va?
Hmm.
Ça va bien.
Ça va bien.
Ça va très bien.
Ça va très bien.
Je vais bien.
Je vais bien.
Je vais bien.
Je vais bien.
So when it says je, it doesn't go je, instead it goes je.
Je
Correct. Je ne
Je ne
vais pas bien.
vais pas bien.
Et toi?
et toi?
Et vous?
Et vous?
Et vous?
Comment
Comment
vous
vous
appelez-vous?
appelez-vous?
Comment
Comment
tu t'appelles?
tu t'appelles?
Je m'appelle.
Je m'appelle
What is your name?
Madeleine.
Okay. So, comment vous appelez-vous?
Comment vous appelez-vous?
Comment tu t'appelles?
Comment tu t'appelles?
Comment tu t'appelles?
Comment tu t'appelles?
Je m'appelle.
Je
Je
m'appelle
m'appelle Smith.
Okay. Okay. So now, let's have a small exercise. Does anyone want to have a conversation with me in French?
Smriti wants to.
If someone wants to just raise your hand or maybe show your video, guess that would. Okay, so who wants to have a conversation with me?
I'll have a conversation.
Okay, so salut,
Bonjour.
je m'appelle Sri Sneha. Comment tu t'appelles?
Je m'appelle Smriti. Et toi?
Je m'appelle Sri Sneha. Comment allez-vous? Or
Je,
comment vas-tu?
je viens.
Je vais bien or je bien?
Je vais bien.
Okay. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Okay, so now can anyone tell me the meaning of this conversation? It can be anyone.
Can it be the same person that wrote it?
Okay, sure.
So first you said hi, and then I said hi,
Mm-hmm.
and then you said you said how are you, and I said I am good. How about you? And you said I am good. My name is Shishnega. What is your name? And I said that my name is Smriti. And you said the same thing again. And then you said bye, and then I said bye.
Okay, so you just kind of changed the order in between. So I first spoke about the name and then I asked how you were. Okay, so now this is an example of formal conversation. So does anyone want to have a formal conversation with me?
Can I try?
You want to? Okay, hi. So, bonjour.
Bonjour.
Comment allez-vous?
Je m'appelle Olivia.
Okay, so when I say comment allez-vous, it means how are you?
Okay.
Okay, so I'll take you back to the slide and then you can answer. Yeah, now answer.
Ça va bien.
Okay, so usually in a formal conversation, you would say je vais bien because that's more polite. And you usually say ça va bien when someone asks you ça va or comment ça va. Okay, so comment allez-vous?
Je vais bien.
So it goes je vais bien because N is silent. So je vais bien.
Je vais bien. Bien.
Okay, so comment vous appelez-vous?
Je m'appelle Olivia.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so au revoir,
Au revoir.
enchanté.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so now can anyone tell me the meaning of this conversation? Anyone?
I can tell the meaning.
Sure.
So first you asked me how are you, and I answered that I'm fine, and then you asked me for my name, and then I answered, and then you said bye, and I said bye.
Okay, and I also said nice to meet you, and you also said nice to meet you.
I thought you said or.
Okay, so I said au revoir, and I also said nice to meet you. So au revoir, enchanté. Okay, so does anyone have any questions till now? Okay, so that's okay. So now I'll ask you some questions and anyone can answer me. So how do you say J? Okay, I'll take you back to the slide. Yeah, now tell me, how do you say J?
G.
Okay,
G.
what about Z?
Z.
Okay, what about P?
P.
R?
A.
So is it R? B?
B.
B.
C?
T.
The T is Te.
A.
Okay, now what about Y? Y?
Y.
G.
Okay. W?
W.
W.
W, correct. M?
M.
M.
Q?
What?
Q.
Good, you guys are learning it. So do you like French right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now tell me about the pronunciation. What letters don't have any air coming out of their mouth?
B and P.
So how would you say, okay, so give me an example of how B would pronounce in French.
B.
Okay, so you would say belle instead of belle.
Okay.
Okay, so that would be belle. And what about papa? How would you say that in French? So how would you say papa in French?
Without like
Papa.
Yeah, so P would not have any sounds. It would just go like papa instead of papa.
Okay.
Okay, so usually to like make sure that your pronunciation is right, people kind of take a piece of paper, they fold it over their mouth, and when they say the letter in French, like B, if your piece of paper moves, that means your pronunciation is slightly off. So do you guys want to try that?
Oh, sure.
Okay, so wait,
Yeah.
I'll also, okay, so I'll try getting a piece of paper too. Okay, so is everyone ready with a piece of paper? Okay, so now do that. Okay, so now you say bull. Yeah, did your paper move? Bull. What about papa?
Papa.
Okay, so if you don't mind, can you guys turn on your video so that I can see if you're getting it right? Okay. Papa.
Papa.
Do it like this so I can see the tip of your paper. Yeah, papa.
Papa.
Bell,
Bear.
bell, bell. Okay. What about um blur,
What did you
blur,
say?
blur,
Blah.
blur.
Blah.
Okay. Mm, okay. So do you guys want to try? I won't do. So all of you try. I'll give you 3 words. Bell, papa, blur, blur, and then
Bell. Blah.
poisson.
What was the last one?
Poisson. So it goes Poisson. Okay, so guys, do it. 3 words. Belle, papa, bleu, poisson. Okay. So fold your paper in this way. So it kind of goes like straight and then you can see it clearly. And I'll put it near the camera so that I can see the tip of the paper. Yeah, now say belle. Okay, unmute your mics and speak. Yeah. Okay, belle.
Dead.
Smriti, could you put your paper like up a little? Okay, yeah, I think that's good. Yeah. So now say belle,
Bell.
Bell.
papa.
Papa.
Okay, so actually Smriti, just put it under your nose. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I didn't see it earlier, so that's why. So papa,
Papa.
bleu,
Blah.
poisson.
Poisson.
Okay, so do you guys see your paper move a little?
Yes.
It does. In that case, your pronunciation is slightly wrong. Okay, it goes like blue,
Okay.
blue. Okay, so now what are the other ones that are silent?
R.
No. Tell me the other letters that are silent. Okay.
Oh, final consonants.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's good. What about the other 2?
B and P.
So B and P, they're not silent, but just the air doesn't come out of the mouth. Whereas for H and E, they're silent.
Oh.
Yeah, so H, E, final consonants, they're
Silent.
silent. So can anyone tell me what final consonants are?
Consonants at the end of the word.
Yeah, so could you give me an example? Like even in an English word, you can just tell me.
Como.
Like you can just give me the word. You don't have to pronounce it with like silently. Just give me the word and then tell me what the final consonant is.
That.
Comment.
It's T.
Como.
Yeah, so comment would be T is the final consonant. So that would sound como because T is silent. Okay, so what about H and E? Are they silent too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so l'hôpital. Does that start with H?
Yes.
Yeah. So what about le héros?
Yes.
L'héroïne. These are the examples of words with H starting so that they would be silent. Okay.
Okay.
So now another one is with E, which is le livre. Okay. So there, if you see, the E is silent here. Right. Yeah. The E is silent here, right? Because it's a final consonant. And then la table. The E is silent here too, right? Now final consonants. So the example would be wait, yeah, la maison.
La maison.
So it goes le maison, and bleu, which is blue. So okay, if the final consonant wasn't silent, what would N sound like? So if the final consonant wasn't silent, it would go like le maison, because the N wouldn't be silent, and N is usually pronounced as N, so you'd say la maison. But since the final consonant is silent, it goes la maison. Bleu. The same way as with blue too, which is bleu. If it was U, I mean, if the U wasn't silent, it would say bleu, because U is pronounced as U, right? Remember the alphabet, U. So that would be bleu. But since the final consonants are silent, it goes bleu. Okay. Now, can someone? Okay, so I'll point out at the word and you pronounce it. Okay, anyone, just anyone. So yeah, can someone pronounce this word for me?
Argente.
Chant.
So it says enchante instead of enchante.
Argente.
Good. This one.
Bonute.
Bonne.
Can someone repeat it again?
Bonute.
Okay. Yeah.
Salute.
Salut.
So as I said
Salut.
earlier, the final consonants are silent, which means the T would be silent too, because it's a final consonant, and all the letters are consonant except R. So the T is consonant, so that would be silent. So it's go like salut,
Salut.
salut, and yeah, this one.
Bon Dieu.
Bonsoir.
Oh, bonsoir.
Bonsoir. Bonsoir.
Yeah. Sometimes the N, like so, as a continuation. So French people tend to speak really fast. Okay, so the word, instead of going like bonsoir, it usually goes like bonsoir.
Bonsoir.
Okay, yeah.
Bonsoir.
What about this one?
Au revoir.
Arvier.
So au revoir.
Revoir.
Yeah, like I said earlier, French people speak fast, so they just go like au revoir. So you would say au revoir instead of au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. And yeah.
A bientôt. À demain.
Okay. What about this one?
S'il te plaît.
S'il te plaît.
So since the T is at the end of the word here, it would be silent. So it goes s'il te plaît instead of s'il te plaît.
S'il te plaît.
So it goes s'il te plaît.
S'il te plaît.
S'il te plaît.
Yeah. What about this one?
Merci.
Merci.
Merci. Yeah.
Bienvenue.
Yeah. So when did you use bienvenue?
Like when you're welcoming
When you
someone.
welcome someone to a place.
Yeah, for example,
When we started this class, you said that welcome to the French class in the boot camp or something like that.
yeah. So that's when you would use bienvenue. So when you invite someone to your place or to your house, you would say bienvenue, which is why when you actually step in, like when you actually land on Paris airport, you would see a huge board saying bienvenue, which means welcome to Paris. Okay. So next time if you ever go to Paris, just notice it. And also, oh, okay. So let's go to the next slide. Oh wait, this one. What about this one? How do you pronounce this?
Désolé.
Ole.
So it says désolé. Actually, yeah, you might get confused over here because the E is at the silent of the word. Because as you can see, there's this small, some sort of line, which we call accent. So the one over here over the I, these small lines, they're called accent, which change the sound of the letter. So we learned earlier that E at the end of the word would be silent. But since there's this accent, it goes A. So that's why it would be désolé instead of désolé. So instead of désolé, it would be désolé because both the E's have their accents on, and that's why it would say A. Okay? Yeah. No. How do you pronounce this?
Monsieur.
Monsieur,
Yeah. It's monsieur.
monsieur,
So it goes monsieur. The N is silent. So monsieur.
monsieur,
This one.
mademoiselle,
Madame.
And what about this?
mademoiselle,
Mademoiselle. I mean, no.
mademoiselle.
So this would be mademoiselle, whereas this would be mesdemoiselles. Okay, so yeah, I'm sorry, but I've just seen the questions right now. So the first question was, so is there only one vowel in French, which is R? Yes, there's only one vowel in French, which is R. Actually, I learned that recently. This is why even I'm kind of surprised how it is like that. And also, do you know any? Okay, so about French teacher, we're having a tutoring program from August 29th, which is a part of GATS education committee. And there we'll have French tutors also. So if you're interested in French, you can join that program. And we'll teach you French from basics, from the beginner to intermediate level throughout the year. I think Kritika Auntie can talk about that more, but Auntie, please talk about that later, okay? Yeah, and I'll continue.
Is it virtual?
Yeah, so as of now, it's virtual, and once the pandemic resolves, we'll go for in person. We have all the flyers and everything ready, and we'll provide more information on it later. But let's just continue with this lesson first.
Hi, Sneha.
Yeah, hi, Auntie.
Oh, did you complete this today?
Yeah, I'm done with the lesson. I was just going for just having them practice more so they could be a bit perfect on it.
Okay, good. So today's session is complete, right?
Yeah, today's session is complete. We'll learn more about directions and how to ask for time and all that in the next lesson.
Actually, I want to give a few lines about Neha. She's having been learning French since fifth grade and have practiced in French Olympiads, where she was qualified for the second round also. So she was also attended in her school French conference, and she is part of actually GATS education committee, and she's studying in senior Northview High School. She is a very great student. I'll appreciate you, Sneha. It's a very grateful and
Thank you, Andy.
proud of you. Thank you.
So I got a question. How do you say where is the restroom? We'll learn all those in the next session. So just please be patient and also get more curious on this, because I don't want to reveal everything about this language in just one day.
Just
All
be
right.
online. I'll be coming inside. Still, you guys are practicing now, or the session is done?
Yeah, the session is done.
Okay, go ahead. And whenever you are done with your practice, I'll come and say a few words.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, okay. So can anyone tell me, how do you pronounce this?
Comment ça va?
Ça va.
Yeah. And what about this one?
E vas bem. Janelle.
So it goes je ne vais bien, je ne vais pas bien.
Papia.
And okay. So how do you ask someone's name?
Comment tu t'appelles or comment vous appelez-vous?
That's good. And how do you say my name is?
Je m'appelle.
Mhm. And yeah, that's all. That's all the practice. And yeah. And that is the end of today's session.
Merci.
Merci beaucoup.
See.
À bientôt.
There, yeah. Thank you so much for attending my class.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll mute myself. So
You did a good job.
thank you.
உங்களுடைய பயிற்சியை நீங்கள் முடித்து விட்டீர்கள். ஸ்ரீ ஸ்னேகா.
Sneha.
ஸ்ரீ ஸ்னேகா. Okay.
Yeah, but I usually go by Sneha. So.
ஸ்னேஹாஸ். Okay. மிக்க நன்றி. உங்களுக்கு வந்து இந்த மொழி ஆளுமை, அந்த உச்சரிப்பு, அதை நீங்கள் பயன்படுத்தி கொண்ட விதம், அதை நீங்கள் மற்றவர்களுக்கு சொல்லிக் கொடுத்த விதம் மிகவும் அருமை. தன்னுடைய தாய்மொழி வேறாக இருந்தாலும் ஒரு மொழியை கற்றுக்கொண்டு அந்த மொழியை கொண்டு வந்து இன்னொரு குழந்தைங்களுக்கு சொல்ற விதம் இருக்கு இல்லைங்களா, the approach, the way you presented, it's really good. எனக்கு அது மிகவும் பிடித்திருந்தது. நீங்கள் சொன்ன விதம், அந்த குழந்தைகளை நீங்கள் அந்த பேப்பர்லாம் மடிச்சுட்டு இந்த மாதிரி சொல்லுங்க, அந்த ஒளி வரும், மொழியின் உச்சரிப்பு ஒளியிலிருந்து தொடங்குகின்றது என்று சொல்லப்படுகின்றது. அதுல வந்து நீங்க அழகா சொல்லி கொடுத்துருக்கீங்க. வாழ்த்துக்கள். இந்த கிரேட்டர் அட்லாண்டா தமிழ் சங்கத்தில் இந்த மாதிரி குழந்தைகள் எல்லாம் வந்து வேற்று மொழியை சொல்லிக் கொடுப்பது என்பது பாரபட்சம் இல்லாமல் மொழி, இனம், மதம் இதெல்லாம் கடந்து பிற நாட்டவர் பேசுகின்ற மொழியை நீங்கள் இன்று தமிழ் சங்கத்துக்கு கொண்டு வந்து சேர்த்திருக்கின்றீர்கள். அதற்கு என்னுடைய மனமார்ந்த நன்றிகள். உங்களுடைய பெற்றோருக்கு என்னுடைய மனமார்ந்த நன்றிகள். யூத் கமிட்டி பூங்குடி, யூ ஆர் டூயிங் கிரேட் ஜாப். நல்லா பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கீங்க. இணைப்பில் இணைந்த அனைத்து குழந்தைகளுக்கும் பெற்றோர்களுக்கும் மிக்க நன்றி. ஏன் பெற்றோர்களுக்கு நான் திருப்பி நன்றி சொல்றேன்னா, ஞாயிற்றுக்கிழமை காலையில வந்து உட்காந்து அந்த ஒரு குழந்தைய உட்கார வச்சு ஒரு மொழியை கற்றுக்கொள்ள வேண்டும் என்ற ஒரு உந்துதல் சக்தி கொடுக்கின்றார்களே, அதுக்கு என்னுடைய வாழ்த்துக்கள், மனமார்ந்த நன்றிகள். உங்களுடைய பணி தொடரட்டும் ஸ்னேகா. ப்ளீஸ் கண்டினியூ ஆல் திஸ் குட் ஜாப் இன் யுவர் என்டையர் லைஃப். Thanks for coming to GATS and explaining all this. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Romba Nandri. Thank you, Sneha. We'll continue next week.
Yeah. All right, then thank you so much for attending this class, and I'll see you again on the next session.